The question that I've gotten this question quite often is, how do I decide where features go and how do I put them into the pool and how they lay out? First thing is, what's the visual effect? What are you trying to accomplish by visually putting something there? If this is just pool construction and really all you care about is the water, then it really doesn't matter because it's just water. For me, I'm thinking about where in the entire yard will someone be standing, sitting, conversing, doing something that then they need something visually interesting to look at. So for me, as I lay out a pool and I look at a design, I figure out where everything is, location of the windows, location of the doors, location of the majority of the patio, and then build from there. Is that structure we're building, say it's a grotto, waterfall, is it being used to screen out and block out, or is it working into a hill? A lot of times the terrain will speak. If you've got a big hill that you're building into, well then it makes sense to position things into that hill. Although you don't always have to go all the way into the hill, you can pull up from the hill and backfill around. Again, waterfalls aiming toward the house versus away from the house gives you sound. You have to think about the echo chamber as well. When that water falls, what direction is the sound going? And where do you want it to go? If you play with that, you can very much create quiet spots amidst a lot of noise. But if you really go just willy-nilly on that and you just think water splash all over, then there will be no quiet spots and no loud spots. I have heard people in the past say, geez, I wish the water was positioned just a little bit differently so that we could hear when we're sitting right here. And instead, the position to listen is way over there out of the bounds where someone would want to sit. So always think about that too in terms of waterfalls. Where do you want to hear it? But also visually. What do you want to see in it? Do you want to be able to see the back of it? Do you not want to be able to see the back of it? Position based on that. Hot tubs. If people say they want to be able to use the hot tub later into the season than the pool, that's a good reason to draw the hot tub to the house side of the pool. Because if we close a pool, we're in the north where we're going to close a pool for winter, we could leave the hot tub open for several extra months. And the last thing we want a customer to do is to have to walk all the way around to the far side of the pool in November or December in 30-degree weather to use that hot tub. So if that's a concern of theirs and they think they're going to want to use their hot tub later in the season, we always try to put it closer to the door, and that might change the overall look of things, but in a lot of cases that's a functional, practical thing you need to think about. Waterfalls, again, sound is important, but also visual. Where are you going to? Where's the clear viewing corridor? Where are they going to see it while they're in the house? Where on the patio? Where else in the yard would you like to see it? And then additional features. We're always trying to keep things visually interesting everywhere. Think about those. What can be done with retaining walls? What can be done with steps that would be visually interesting? And all of those things kind of go into the pot of mix-up of how we're going to do a design and how it's going to look. And doing it a few times and making a few mistakes along the way and understanding things aren't positioned quite right, and I always learn from what I did for the next one. How could I do it better? What could I have done differently? And the net result is we get that better, we get that right more often than we don't now because of all the practice we've had.